wall. There was no immigration reform. And so what did Trump do to get Republicans to turn out in the 2018 midterms? He deployed the National Guard to the border. And he went to rallies and said, we're going to call ourselves nationalists again. We're going to use that word again. The midterms came and went. Republicans got destroyed. And what happened? Trump pulled the National Guard back from the border almost immediately. And we never heard him say the word nationalist ever again. They do this every time. Trump knows his base. He knows his people. He knows what they want. He knows what they want to hear, and he always has. And what does it tell you that he can flip a switch like this?
After days of pounding President Donald Trump over the National Guard ambush, Nick Fuentes has come at him even harder, urging him to completely abandon his proposed candidates for the 2028 election because, as Nick bluntly put it, Trump's track record shows that he and anyone carrying his endorsement are destined to lose. Nick argued that Trump embodies the classic cunning American super politician who hijacked the public's hunger for genuine outsiders and reformers, using their frustrations as a ladder to power while quietly maintaining the same establishment rot he pretended to fight. Nick's analysis was razor-sharp and painfully accurate. He went further to insist that Trump's political days are numbered unless he stops serving as the enabler and cheerleader of war criminal Benjamin Netanyahu's endless schemes, and honestly, Nick was speaking the truth many are too afraid to say. Nick exposed Trump's grand promises of mass deportation as nothing but a glittering illusion, a loud theatrical talking point that has failed to materialize in any serious form. I agree with Nick completely. Trump has been all talk and no meaningful action, and while he tries to convince us that he is shifting the tide, reality is catching up to him far faster than he ever anticipated. Before we dive into Nick's takedown, please take a moment to like and share this video. It's absolutely free and it helps push this message to more people. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now is the perfect time to join the community.
For the past year and a half, you know what we heard about immigration? We heard we need the people. Americans have no talent. We need Indians. We're going to staple green cards to diplomas. We need the farm workers. We need the hospitality workers. The radical right won't like this, but they'll understand. We're not going to deport people at Home Depot or meatpacking plants. He's been saying that for a year and a half. What does it tell you? Now that his poll numbers are in the tubes, he could write something like this. Like he flipped a switch. Last week, he goes in an interview and says, Americans have no talent. You think we could pull somebody out of an unemployment line and have them build a Hyundai? You can't. Who's going to build our missiles for us? Americans don't have the talent. We need the immigrants. And then 1 week later, he lets something like that rip where he goes, immigrants are coming here. We have the biggest foreign-born population. They're wrecking society, and no one wants to say anything because they feel guilty. We got to get them out. What does it tell you if he could flip a switch? It means that he knows. He knows. He knows what you want. He knows what you're asking for. He knows what you expect him to deliver. But he refuses to give it to you. Why? Because he knows he doesn't need to. He only brings that out in an emergency. If he can get you to vote without doing those things, he won't do it. If he doesn't think he needs to pander to you, he won't. He will pander to the billionaires because he needs their money. But when he's losing support catastrophically, he knows just which buttons to press, just which levers to pull, just the right words to say. I mean, if you read that post like I just did, you must be thinking, this is amazing. This is awesome. Where's this guy? That guy doesn't exist. It's an act. It's an appeal. People say, are we going to get the 2016 Trump back? Oh, I think this is 2016 Trump. 2016 Trump is a marketing strategy. It's like the fucking green M&M. Okay, it is like the Geico Gecko. It is a marketing gimmick. It is like when McDonald's plays Monopoly. It's a marketing gimmick to get you through the door to buy the product. And people go, where was this Trump? That Trump never existed. That is a face that Trump puts on when he desperately needs people to stick with him. And as soon as he gets you back, he takes it off and goes back to taking care of business. That's what happens. And what is that? What else does that tell us? I see people on Twitter and I see people on YouTube, and they say, we need to get on Twitter and we need to tell the president that we don't support this, that, or the other thing. And it presumes that he doesn't know. Whenever I go on Alex Jones, he tells me we need to tell the president we don't want a war with Iran. Tell the president? What are you talking about? We're talk show hosts. What do you mean we need to tell the president? Doesn't he have millions of dollars in contracts to the best consultants and pollsters? They know what the people want. They know what the people want and what they're asking for and what they expect. They know exactly what they want. And this is the proof. Because when push comes to shove, they know how to give the people what they want. They just choose not to every other time. It's not for lack of being reminded. It's not because fucking Lomez and John Doyle didn't run it up the flagpole on Twitter. It's not because Mike Cernovich tweeted, hey, Trump, I really think this war with Iran is a bad idea. No, they know exactly what the people want. They just don't give it to them unless it is absolutely necessary. Then they will signal that they're prepared to give them what they want. And then they never do. That's what this is. And once you understand that, you understand the game that we've been playing for the past 10 years. It's no different than when at the convention last year, they held up signs saying mass deportations. You see any mass deportations? They're not happening. Any way that you cut it, Trump is in real trouble with these numbers. Numbers polling his own base, polling Republicans, independents. Any way you cut it, it is catastrophically bad. And he has only himself to blame. We're cutting Medicaid to pay for corporate tax cuts. Doge was a total failure. We're bombing Iran. Prices have not gone down and the economy has not recovered. The tariffs have been a complete disaster. There are mounting signs all over the economy. We're in a real estate bubble. Consumer spending is slowing. The job market is frozen. They're not even releasing the jobs report in October. On top of all that, they didn't even release the Epstein files. So it is a total disaster. That is why he's unpopular, and it's self-inflicted. It is because rather than keep his promises, all that this administration has done is enrich the people that are in it. There is rampant, basically criminal levels of corruption in this government. The very people that Trump brought in to drain the swamp, they're looting D.C. They're taking everything that isn't nailed down practically. They're fucking stealing. They're corrupt. That is all these people. You know, why do you think they brought these people in? Someone like Howard Lutnick and David Sachs, and, you know, these people, they are criminals. So this is, and it's important to understand this, contrary to what the true believers, the plan trusters say, this is not actually the result of a political system that is so difficult to overcome that, you know, they can't do it in a matter of 5 years. No, they're not even trying. It is actually for a lack of trying that it is this way. They're not trying. It's a joke. Kristi Noem is a joke. Kash Patel is a joke. Pete Hegseth is a joke. People allegedly are in there blackmailing him. It's like every person in this cabinet is a complete disaster.
I agree with Nick on this additional point as well, because what we are seeing from the current administration is nothing short of a loyalty-driven carnival where competence is sacrificed for family, favoritism, and political backscratching. Appointments that should have been rooted in strategy and expertise have instead become trophies in a nepotistic raffle. Jared Kushner dragged back into the White House as senior advisor and Middle East envoy because Ivanka insisted and Trump couldn't resist indulging his family's whims, went on to completely mishandle a so-called $15 billion Saudi deal that evaporated without producing a single meaningful concession on oil. Lara Trump, installed as RNC co-chair thanks to Don Jr.'s behind-the-scenes pressure, burned through an eye-watering $42 million on glamorous events and empty optics while abandoning the grassroots machinery that actually wins elections, leading to plunging turnout and catastrophic midterm losses. Every one of these moves, orchestrated by a tight circle of relatives and opportunistic power brokers, illustrates the dangerous cost of nepotism.
The elites do not have this kind of hatred. They don't have this kind of antipathy for foreigners and outsiders that a lot of people among the lower classes do. And the lower classes have maybe an authenticity, a plain spokenness that the elites don't have. But they're sort of getting together and they're embracing the worst of both worlds. We're in a race to the bottom where people like Tucker and Trump that are really not on our side. They're not against Israel. They're not pro-white. They're barely Christian. These people are getting together and appealing to superstition, talking about demons and chemtrails, appealing to racism, talking about Ilhan Omar and the Somalis and all that kind of stuff. And there's a race to be the most crass, the most controversial, the most uncivil, the most cruel, without actually delivering change and actually delivering more corruption than ever. So you're getting maximum cruelty. You're not even getting like the good faith, reasonable opposition to these things that comes from a patriotic place. You're getting the worst kind of shock politics where we're just like these fucking retards and blah, blah, faggots and retards. And, you're getting that. You're getting crass, casual cruelty, meanness. You're getting people like Stephen Miller that are just saying like fucking white boomers and third worlders, you're nothing. We're going to round you up. And so you're getting maximum cruelty and mean-spiritedness and legitimate, probably just like gross appeals to racism to pander to the masses, while also getting maximum corruption, not delivering real immigration reform, which would benefit everybody, not actually delivering real populist change in the government, but actually entrenching the richest, most powerful interest groups, AI, defense tech, Palantir, Elon Musk, like all these people, the Israel lobby. We're going into Gaza and building a smart city on a mass grave of children murdered by Israel. So you're getting the worst of all of it in the Republican Party. This is the sickness. It's guys like Tucker and Vance and Stephen Miller mean mugging for the camera saying your third world's gotta go. We hate you. And then turning around and supporting Vance and the Jeet wife, entrenching the interests, and there's no mass deportations at all. What are we actually doing with any of this? It's disgusting. I don't want to be a part of it. I don't want to be a part of it. I want the opposite. I don't want the mean-spiritedness. I don't want the controversy for controversy's sake. And people say that's rich coming from you. I don't try to be provocative. I just am. And I don't do it for its own sake. I do it for a reason. It's because I'm telling the truth, and the truth is provocative. But I want the opposite. I want the actual change. I want actual immigration moratorium, mass deportations. I want actual suspension of foreign lobbying from Israel and Qatar and from Russia and China. I want all that shut down. I actually want to suspend the asylum requests. I want to build the wall and keep the illegals out. I want to have an America First immigration program. I want all of it without the cruelty, without the mean-spiritedness, without the hatred, without having to feel like we need to appeal to those kinds of things to win people over to our side, without feeding the anger, feeding the grievance. That's what I want. And we're getting the inverse of that. And I think it's deeply wrong. And I want nothing to do with it. So I see the statement from the president and it's like, dude, shut up. You're the president. Deliver it. He goes on True Social on Thanksgiving with this rant about we have the largest foreign-born population. They cost all this money. Okay, you've only been the president now for 5 years. Do something about it then. Don't talk anymore. And Trump has really inverted everything. His whole campaign the first time was politicians are all talk, no action. You've been in government for 40 years. You have experience, but it's bad experience. Okay, how long have you been in politics now? And what have you done? Don't bitch about it on Thanksgiving. Just do it. And I have no reason to believe he will. He went from 1 week ago saying, Americans have no skills. We need the people. The deportation numbers are abysmal. We deported 300,000 people in a year. It's nothing. To now this screed. Oh, what, did you just wake up and realize your own voters wanted the deportations? The deportations you promised? Get real. Just fucking do it then. So no, I am not putting the MAGA hat back on. I am not falling for it again. We must continue to be basically hostile in our opposition to this administration until it delivers. Not until it tweets about what we want, until it delivers what we want.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe to support honest journalism, and until I see you next time, God bless you.